Hi, this is Hallie. I'm here to talk to you a bit about um, money addictions and where they come from and how you can help um, heal those addictions. I think it's, pretty commonly known people have shopping addictions. You buy stuff because you want to feel better, or, you have some sort of compulsion that you feel you need to have to get something. Um, Sometimes you feel better, sometimes you feel like crap. It's the same thing with most addictions. Underneath those addictions are true emotional wounds. And what I mean by this is, like, when we're children and we don't get 100% of our emotional needs met by our parents, an emotional wound is created. And, the very vast majority of us do not get 100% of our emotional needs met by our parents. It's just kind of the way things are in this world. The good news is, as an adult, once you start to identify those needs and the behaviors that those underlying needs create, then you can start to address the wound. You can start to learn how to heal the wound, and thus, like, staying out of behaviors that can be unhealthy is much easier, and you feel better. It doesn't mean that you should never shop. It doesn't mean you should never buy something. In fact, abundance should be enjoyed. One of my teachers told me, first off, a long time ago, when I began working with her, she says, you might as well have as much as you want. Having too much stuff, or spending too much money on things is sort of a belief. Now, it doesn't mean that buying stuff is fulfilling. It doesn't mean it's your higher calling to go out and shop and buy everything. It just means that having something or having things is just not a bad thing. It's when we get attached to having them, or we have unhealthy spending habits, like we really need to prepare for our financial future, but we're spending our money on clothes, or we're spending money on certain activities when we know we don't really have the money, and we have some more basic needs we need to take care of first. So I want to have a seat, sit someplace comfortable. I always like lighting a candle because I feel like it helps focus my energy, and it focuses my attention. While that candle is burning, it's harder to get distracted by something else. If you have, or feel you have, any sort of shopping addiction, kind of sit with your last experience and what that felt like. Did you feel a craving to buy something? Did you feel you needed to have something? Did you feel that you were less than if you did not have a certain item, or a certain piece of clothing, or a certain car or house or vacation? Did you feel that you had to sorry, my dog is rolling around. So take a moment, bring that last shopping experience or buying experience to you. How did you feel? Did you feel desperate? Did you feel hungry? Did you feel you had a craving? It can be a very minor craving, or it can feel like an uncontrollable craving. It doesn't matter. Just whatever that experience is, bring it to you. And as you bring it to you, allow yourself to feel whatever is coming up for you. If you feel scared, if you feel angry or frustrated, or if you feel desperate, allow that feeling. come up. And then allow your inner child to come forward. The inner child that's trying to get that need met by whatever you're trying to purchase or buy, or what activity you want to spend that money on. What is that inner child saying? Is the inner child saying, I want attention? Does the inner child say, I want to be loved? I want to be included? Does the inner child say, I want to be validated? I want to be enough? So whatever that inner child is feeling, you as the adult can sit down and allow the inner child to sit on your lap or stand near you. Ask that inner child what it needs from you. Maybe it's a hug. Maybe it's an ice cream cone. Maybe that inner child wants an adventure. Maybe it wants to be included. Maybe that inner child needs connection. Maybe that inner child needs to be part of a group, part of a family or a tribe. Allow your inner child to communicate what they're looking for. And then in your inner world, this is using your imagination, or if you're more familiar with it, when you just go inside, picture yourself giving that inner child what they need. If it's a tribe, let them be part of a tribe. Bring a tribe to them. Bring a tribe that loves them, embraces them. Bring them a tribe that believes in the greatness of who they are, who can see their soul, who can embrace them. If your child is looking for an ice cream cone, picture yourself giving the inner child the ice cream cone or the toy, or give your inner child a big hug and say, I love you. Whatever it is that the inner child needs, let them have that in your inner world. Notice how your inner child responds. Do they feel better? Do they need more? Do they have another need? Do they have a wish? Do they have a dream? Allow your inner child to communicate with you in your inner world. And do the best you can to meet your inner child's needs in your inner world. Now, allow yourself to come back to the present. Allow yourself to be fully present in the room. When you think of your last shopping experience or buying experience, how do you feel? Do you feel like it could have been avoided? Do you feel that by fulfilling the need of your inner child, the desperation or the craving or the wanting was any less? Do you see yourself having a different experience? Maybe you're buying the same thing, but when you've met the need of the inner child, your experience is very different. So take a deep breath and then exhale and let go of all the energy that you've had during this experience. And do that process often. If you have any sort of addiction, you're probably aware there can be very challenging to combat. Again, they have to do with very deep needs and deep emotional wounds sometimes. You can apply the same process to any sort of addiction, if it's a food addiction, shopping addiction, even a chemical substance abuse addiction. Some of those can be, much tougher, but this can help you. It can be one piece of the puzzle to help you start to combat that pain, because the pain that exists that we try to anesthetize, whether it's from food, drug, alcohol, shopping, sex, or even, some connection with people using using certain friendships or whatever to make ourselves feel better, or trying to get acknowledgement from the external world, all those kinds of things. They're really emotional needs that we as adults are capable of meeting, and so as we continue to do that, the wounds are less and less. They do surface from time to time, but once you get that process done, you can go back at any time and meet whatever that need is. And in the process, you actually help that child to grow up. Every time that child gets its need met, it's going to grow up and mature a little. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Again, come back and do it often. Thank you. Bye.